We've still got a hammer, and we've still got a bell, and we've still got a song to sing all over this land. It's still the hammer of justice. It's still the bell of freedom, still the song about love between my brothers and my sisters, all over this land. Tonight is a kind of a March on Washington night, in the sense that we're carrying that legacy and standing on the shoulders of people who made it very clear in 1963, where Peter, Paul, and Mary sang this song, that ordinary people, if we stand together, we can change the destiny of our political way in which we function and our culture. Not people who are wealthy or people who are in office or powerful, but people. And that is the motive for us, and I feel it tonight with you. If I had a bell, I'd ring it in the morning, in the evening, all over this land. Ringing out danger, ringing out a warning, ringing out love between my brothers and my sisters, all over this land. And we are sitting at a time where we're close to a vote about whether we love each other or not, and whether we're going to be a nation of people who are living and working out their perspectives because of the fear that dominates, or because of the love. And in such a situation, it is appropriate that we gather ourselves together in heart and spirit, which is what we're doing. And music helps that. Okay, you can sing with me now. Don't think I can't hear you. If I had a song, I'd sing it in the morning. I'd sing it in the morning, in the evening, all over this land. Sing it out danger, sing it out a warning, sing it out a warning, sing it out a love between my brothers and my sisters, all over this land. Well, we do have our hammer, we do have a bell. We can hammer out a warning, we can ring out danger, we can sing and thereby love each other, because that, as Pete Seeger and Lee Hayes tell us in this song, is the way we're going to get through this, by loving each other. I've never seen anything accomplished in my years with Peter, Paul, and Mary that was successful unless it came from a place of love and nonviolence. So in order to acknowledge the person that allowed this to convene and is the head of one of the 10 organizations that are have their logos and are supportive of this. Wonderful, wonderful. This is a community of the most imperative of issues, whether we are, as a basic nation, going to value the lives of our children. So I'm going to now introduce Stacy Wesch, and if you will tell us what your coalition is, and you will tell us what your heart is saying, Stacy, and welcome, people. I'm honored to be with you and to introduce this and to introduce you.
Oh, thank you so much, Peter, and I'm honored to be here with you as well. Thank you so much for this tonight and for everybody who's been involved. So good evening, everyone, and thank you so much for joining us tonight. My name is Stacy Wesch, and I am one of the co-founders of Honor with Action Coalition. And this election is so important for so many reasons, one of which is the gun violence prevention movement. I am myself am from Parkland, Florida. My daughter was a student at Marjory Stoneman Douglas. I was fortunate enough to have her come home that day, and I had friends that were not. And this show tonight is for them. So with that, Honor with Action presents Vote for Them, an evening of song to honor the students and teachers lost in gun shootings. Thank you.
Oh, Stacy, thank you. Thank you so much. And what I want to do is say that what we're noting, we're going to go back in history a bit, but for now, what we're noting is the role that young people and students are playing now in taking the lead, not as our pawns, but really taking our hand. Take my hand, my son or my daughter, and all will be well when the day is done. And this is a video of a song written by Parkland students who found a way to express their pain, their anguish, their anger, and channel it through music. And through that, it turned into healing and love and solidarity of spirit. And these young people wrote this incredible song, and it was only 3 months afterwards. There were 11 other songwriters and I came to Parkland to mentor them. But these words, some of the music they didn't write, but here it is called "The Children Will Lead the Way."
Too many words to say. Take my hand, we'll be okay. The children will lead the way. I won't give up today. Too many words to say. Take my hand, we'll be okay. The children will lead the way. The children will lead the way. The children will lead the way.
We are able to be the change that we wish to see in this world. And this is why we march. There's no better time than now to talk about gun control.
My generation, having spent our entire lives seeing mass shooting after mass shooting, has learned that our voices are powerful and our votes matter. We hereby promise to fix the broken system we've been forced into and create a better world for the generations to come.
Fight for your lives before it's someone else's job.
I'm sure a few of you need a moment to just resonate with that extraordinary video that was made by Beth and George Gage, who are extraordinary documentary filmmakers. All these contributions are pro bono, but they totally understood. They went to Parkland and they met with Marisol and Sophia and Peyton. And this is like an anthemic piece of work. It is not like, it is an anthemic piece of work. And now I want to introduce you to the three people who were singing on that song just now and who co-wrote it with about 25 of their classmates about 3 months after the Valentine's Day shooting that was so devastating. So please welcome to our talk here Marisol Ramirez, Peyton, Sophia Rothenberg, and Peyton Francis. All right, you should all be seen now. If Mr. Producer over there can make sure we're all seen, that would be great. And I'd like a matrix so we're all seen on the mainstream screen, if that's possible. I'd like to ask you, let me ask you first, Sophia, what was the experience of writing this song about? What was it like, and how did it affect all of you?
I think that in the time after the shooting, everyone in Parkland was very confused, and even though people were together, felt very alone. And I think having the opportunity to just come together with a group of other students, not necessarily any of them who I knew, I wasn't friends with any of them, but just to be able to be in a safe, open space where everyone could share their feelings was really therapeutic. And I think it allowed us all to kind of heal together. And I didn't know most of the kids there. And I think now, like after that, we kind of have a special bond because we were able to really talk to each other, and it let us realize that other people had the same feelings that we had, and that it was okay to be feeling these things.
Right. And that's what I felt, because I felt that I was in the room with deeply, deeply traumatized and mourning kids who had experienced something that they never should have. And I'd like to know from you, Peyton, How did it affect you and your perspective in terms of your relationship to the world and what you thought you might be able to do with it, and so where has it brought you over these past 2 years?
Well, when the shooting happened, I was in 8th grade, so that's fairly young, and I was kind of just focused on going about my day, going through school, hanging out with friends, and I didn't really even necessarily know about issues in the world like gun violence and how they affect people until you actually experience it. And so after the shooting happened, I guess I kind of I was very angry at the world and just upset that people had to go through things like this. And I just didn't think that it was fair. And now, looking back at it, after we had written all of the songs, it gives you motivation to fight for the people who were lost and to try and make the world a better place so that this doesn't continue happening to other people.
Yeah, that's what I saw too, because we are all still together. And Marisol, what changed for you, and where are you now in reference to what happened then and how your life, and how did it affect you, and the event itself, and where has it taken you?
I think that for me personally, one person walked into Stoneman Douglas that day and a different person left. I've been irreparably changed by it, and in some ways I'm in a very similar place now as to where I was almost 3 years ago now, where I am still very afraid, but with time comes healing, and with fear you can choose many emotional reactions, but I choose to walk forward with love and with hope for change. And I think that seeing the outcry of support and cries for change that followed the shooting, I think that hope is ultimately what I've latched on to most.
Right. Thank you, Marisol. Marisol is a fresh person at college now. You were 16 when the shooting took place. Sophia, you were how old when the shooting took place? You have to unmute yourself, dear.
13.
You were 13. And Sophia, you are the president for the third year in a row of your class, now in the junior year. How would you say it has affected the students in terms of their not just the painful things, but in positive ways? If you were to look at it and say, not just for them personally, but for the world, what has changed for the student body?
Well, I was at Westglades with Peyton when the shooting happened, and now I'm at Douglas and I'm junior class president there. And I would say that I think that the school and the town has really come together, and I think there's a real sense of community.
Community and determination. And Peyton, there was something that you said. I'm going to end with this, and then you'll be back. When I asked you to speak about voting and its connection to this, and the way you said it was quite different from the persona of you when you were singing. Can you just tell people, what is this connection, and what should they do, and why?
Well, us, especially me, I'm 17 years old, so I'm not able to vote, no matter how much I want to. And so when I'm singing the songs, we're trying to inspire other children to make change that doesn't have to do with voting, because children can't vote. So now us kids, we've been trying to do as much as we can without voting to spread the message and to create change. And now us kids are looking at the adults to vote, and those eligible voters to go out and vote to make real change happen.
Right. And you are doing it. And this video and the other songs that people will be seeing that you were singing on a lot, you're going to see each other a lot in this, are making a big, big difference. All right, I'm hugging you all. And now I'm turning to introduce David and Francine Wheeler. I met David and Francine when I was producing a concert. I was asked to produce a concert not to make money, but to bring the community together in song and in heart, in mourning and in strength, and whereby the Sandy Hook promise was proclaimed. It had been articulated, and one of the leaders of this in terms of organizing is David, and Francine, who was a singer that I had sung with prior to this, they lost their son Ben, and they have an organization called Ben's Lighthouse, and they have turned they have found, if I may say, they have found a direction to be able to pursue life and light through helping others and trying to rid us of this horrific reality. I want to share a bit of that concert with you and go back there. This is, although I was affected by the loss of gun violence because my friend Allard Lowenstein was killed with a handgun, and so that was years before this. What really catalyzed me and propelled me into this in ways that are beyond deep is being with Francine and with David and with the other the people and the parents of Newtown. This is a video that'll take you back there, and you'll know this was in 2012. And it's hard to watch, but it's also inspiring to see the determination. So, producer, if you can, Chad, can you play it, please?
Our hearts are broken. Our spirit is not. And it is with this knowledge that we are able to move forward with purpose and strength. This is a promise to support our own, our families, our neighbors, our teachers, our community, with dedication and love. This is a promise to truly honor the lives lost by turning our tragedy into a moment of transformation.
This is a promise to do everything in our power to be remembered not as the town filled with grief and victims, but as the place where real change began. Our hearts are broken. Our spirit is not. This is our promise. The Sandy Hook promise.
We stood outside in the summer rain. Different people with a common pain. A simple box in that hard red clay. It's where we left him to always remain. Let your love cover me like a pair of angel wings. You are my family. You are my family.
How many roads just a man who walked down before they call him a man. Jim, how many seas must a white dove sail?
And how many seas must the white dove sail
Before she sleeps?
before she sleeps in the
Francine,
sand?
how many times must the cannonballs fly?
How many times must the cannonballs fly before they're forever banned?
Sing it to us now, my friend.
The answer, my friend, is blowing in the wind. The answer is blowing in the wind.
Once more, the answer, my friend. The
Answer, my friend,
blowing in the
is
wind.
blowing in the wind.
The answer.
The answer is blowing in the wind.
And for all the children throughout the world who do not deserve to grow up with the sound of guns and bombs or be frightened, let us not live in fortresses. Instead, let us learn to love one another. We shall live in peace. 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 Someday, oh, deep in my heart, I do believe. We shall overcome. Once again now we be the sunshine out of the falling rain. We be the hope of a new tomorrow. Fill my cup again. So, I'm here starting your video, and there we are. An unbelievable memory, and it started this road for me and many other people, and we have warriors of this, and they are the epitome of weaving the sunshine out of the falling rain, of taking the rain and turning it into beauty and sunshine and redemption and heart. And I would like to introduce you to David and Francine Wheeler, who are with us right now.
Thank you, Peter.
Hi, Peter. I wish I could hug you right now. It was such a beautiful, sad, and beautiful event, wasn't it?
It was because we shared each other's sorrow, because we bore it together, because when you sang that song, you know, this is with Dar Williams, everybody said, if there ever was a group of people whose hearts was together as profoundly as they were at the March on Washington in 1963, where 250,000 people said this suffering must end, that night was catalytic for me. It was sad, but we get strength from sharing our sadness, and strength from finding the fury within, the righteous fury within ourselves to say we condemn these acts. We don't have to hate the people, but the acts are despicable.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. you know, grief is a funny thing because it changes a lot. And it's been almost 8 years since that video. But the thing that hasn't changed is our love for Ben, who was only 6 years old, 6 years, 3 months, and 2 days when he was killed. And we continue, David and I continue to do things that we believe will, like the younger people were just saying, you know, we believe in hope, we believe in change, we believe in love. My work continues to be sharing my story about Ben, because I think if people really understand grief and understand this kind of suffering and imagine it for themselves, like it could be anybody. Doesn't matter what color you are, or where you live, or what you do, it affects 30,000 people, now more, a year. And that's just the victims. It's not even all the people that loved them. And we continue to do work, and we hope that people want to support a government that is supporting them, that makes the right for Ben to have lived his life more important than owning an assault weapon or not having better regulations on owning guns. And those are real facts that many Americans, they don't even know that they're not protected. And so we need to voice that opinion. We need to speak out, and every voice is so important. So I just want to thank you for inviting us and being able to say that we still believe, we're still here, we still grieve, and we still want change in many ways.
And yours is a story of resilience, and resilience is what we give each other when we sing and we love each other. And when you went to Colorado, and when you went with Ben's Lighthouse to mourn with and hold others in your arms, David, you were clearly, on that night, you were clearly, and I feel very strongly that this needs to be shared, you were furious. Mm-hmm. You can be loving with your fury. You were loving and furious. We must not deprive ourselves. We don't have to be, we can be furious with the act. We do not have to wish to annihilate the people who do these things, but the acts themselves do deserve the kind of fury that I felt within you. It was, I feel it now. I feel it now. I think we need to have the legitimacy of our fury at this country choosing the profits for weapons or the fun of playing a game with an assault weapon. Choose that over the lives of children. What have we become? So I feel that fury, and I want to know about your sense of. I mean, I want to, in a way, legitimize it for a moment and say, being good and being loving does not mean that one is not outraged.
No, absolutely not. In fact, the quality of love and the quality of empathy and the quality of understanding often includes understanding the mechanism of outrage and understanding the mechanism of anger and fury that you described. And I think it's very important for us to remember that we are at our best and we are our best selves when we are able to separate the action from the actor in many ways. I often look at those who oppose my views and those who oppose my position and those who oppose my point of view. I will never stop at just accepting that at face value. There's always more to the story. And the more we can connect with people, the more that we can embrace people, the more we can help them understand what they don't themselves understand, which is perhaps how they were treated as children, how they grew up, the stories that they have to tell, the bumps and the bruises along the way that led them to a place where they are disconnected from their humanity, where they are disconnected from their love of others, and find more solace in the excitement and the thrill of pulling a trigger than the excitement and the thrill of being together with a group of people who can help them and support them and make them feel honestly good about themselves in a real and holistic way. So the fury is important, and the fury and the anger are necessary, and they're crucial, and they are part of the engine that helps us move forward every single day. But at the same time, we all hold it to be evidently true that the whole person is what matters most.
It is true, and as we sit here before the vote, if people see this, they see the amount of love that you have, the amount that what has emerged in you and your fight and your commitment. If they combine that and they feel that and they say, who are these people who were singing together up there and singing in that audience? Is that who we want to be? And my answer is yes. And if we want that to occur, we have to translate that into saying we take action. And right now, that means voting.
It does, because people have said over and over again, whether it's young voters, new voters, people of color, people who feel disenfranchised in any way, often say they don't feel like their vote matters, and it has never mattered more. There can be no recount this time. This has to be a decisive and crucially decisive election. And so if anyone thinks their vote does not matter, it couldn't be further from the truth. It really does matter more than ever before.
Indeed it does. And now I want to introduce a colleague of yours, a friend of yours, and a friend in sorrow with you, who lost his son, Daniel, and who is a musician. And he is the founder of the Sandy Hook Promise, and he is the manager of it now. He's the co-founder of it. And the people I want you to meet, Mark Barden. We're exploring the history of the energy that is propelling us. Mark, welcome, and thank you for being with us.
Thank you, Peter, and thank you for convening this this beautiful, important evening of music, conversation, song, thoughts, and activism. And I'm honored to be part of it.
Well, I want to know, in terms of your own experience of going forward and your ongoing commitment, I read an article that you wrote about Christmas, about the promise that you made to yourself and how you have moved forward on behalf of Daniel. Daniel is, I cannot believe when I see a picture of him. He just becomes alive to me so powerfully. What has happened in your life, and tell a little bit about how we got connected, which is so very special.
Well, that was so very special. It was a moment in history unto itself. Also following another horrible preventable tragedy. We were together with Paul Stuckey and the parents of Trayvon Martin in Washington in that transformative moment. And looking back and thinking back on that, it's like a foggy dream world memory of being there and looking out across the mall at thousands of people who were all there because they believed that that we were on the right side of history and that change was imminent, and so here we are. We find ourselves probably 5-6 years after that, Peter, again at a precipice moment where we're hoping that change is imminent. And I would just echo what we've heard before about how important it is that folks do get out to vote. I mean, we know from research that the largest electoral constituency is the eligible yet non-voting voter. So those are the people that we need to inspire. And I'll say thank you, Peyton, who is not yet able to vote, but is using her voice and her platform to inspire others to please do so. And
Sophia, who is even younger, and if you'll meet these kids again, Mark, but you know what I think is important is that you look at this march that we did and you say, what was it in 63 that we were talking about? We were talking about love and outrage about the way people of color and blacks were treated in our country. And here, the single motivating reality, the signal moment that made us say, we will not be these kinds of people. That was with Trayvon Martin, whose son looked, Trayvon Martin's parents, whose son looked like Obama, President Obama. He said, if I had a son, it would look like me. And we symbolically said together, this is, I like the civil rights, it is an outrage that warrants us to really stop and say, who the heck are we? So where are we going, Mark? What do you tell people now at this moment in terms of your Sandy Hook promise? What are we to do?
Oh, wow. Good one. I'll tell you, I mean, I'm pointing at you because you're over there on my screen, but I mean, Peter, you've been at the forefront leading this charge of social justice and civil rights from all the way back in the beginning. And here you still are leading this charge, carrying that torch, and I'm holding your hand and with you on this journey. And there is absolute reason for hope. If you look at all the people who are here on this call, who are spending their Sunday evening listening to this call and listening to these songs and listening to these voices, and hoping that this is inspiring you to go out there and be an exponential validator, to go out and tell people and encourage people and inspire people that there is hope and we have the power. We have the power to do this. With Sandy Hook Promise, we are training young people in schools across the country how to recognize warning signs in their peers and then connect them to the help that they need or the services they need before it becomes something more serious. And I think that's the heart of empathy. And that's how I honor my Daniel. And that's how my Daniel used to live his life in his short 7 years that he had with us, was his uncanny sense of compassion and awareness of others, and always there to reach out and help somebody else. And we all have that same capacity, and we all have that ability to do that. And that is how we're going to get better, and that's how we're going to move forward, and that's where the hope is.
I agree, and I also think that what it is as I look at you and I look at my beloved Francine and David, that we kind of make our lives worthwhile by loving each other in this way, not as a noun, but as a verb. We act on our love, and that's what we're asking people to experience, and by being together tonight.
Yeah.
We're not saying, here's your football team or here's your candidate. We're saying, what are the issues that propel our lives, our morality? And therefore, how do we move forward? And we vote. And now I want to introduce to you somebody extraordinary who came later, because I met Mark and I met Francine and David back in 2012, but it was just close to 3 years ago that I met this warrior, this poetic artist, physical artist, but artist of the spirit, who transforms it into extraordinary work, who was devastated. He and his wife, Patricia, were devastated by the loss of their son, Joaquin Oliver. And he created this extraordinary video, and this is a message from Joaquin Oliver, and that's what I want you to please play now, not the other one that was queued up, so I know you need a moment. the message from Joaquin.
I am Patricia Oliver, and this is my husband, Manuel. 2 years ago, our beautiful son, Joaquin, was shot and killed at Parkland. Every day I think about him and what his last moments must have been like.
Meanwhile, every day, nearly 100 more families lose someone they love to gun violence. Every single day, we keep telling people it doesn't have to be like this. They don't listen. So we found a way to bring back someone that no one will ignore.
It's very hard for me to look at this. So please, please listen to what our son has to say.
Yo, it's me. It's Guac. I've been gone for 2 years and nothing's changed, bro. People are still getting killed by guns. What is that? Everyone knows it, but they don't do anything. I'm tired of waiting for someone to fix it. The election in November is the first one I could have voted in, but I'll never get to choose the kind of world I wanted to live in. So you've got to replace my vote. Go to unfinishedvotes.com, register, then go vote. Vote for politicians who care more about people's lives than the gun lobby's money. Vote for people not getting shot, bro. I mean, vote for me, because I can. We've got to keep on fighting, and we got to end this.
That's powerful, and when I saw it, I was devastated. So many, you're spending your life fighting to bring people's hearts together, to have the compassion to see, to not live where, if this is a struggle between the power of compassion and the power of hatred. And your art is at the forefront of this. Your posters, here you see on your wall, Refuse, your son, and you made this logo, and you're always there for this, for all of us. Tell us about what is in your heart now.
Well, thank you. Thank you for having me here today. Patricia, it's not here physically, but she's probably watching this, so she's with me. Listen, we are very offended with what happened, and I'm a creative guy. My background is on the creative industry, and along with the most influential creative firms from the planet that I've been chasing and finally being able to partnership with them, we are changing the narrative. I don't want to lead this fight. I want Joaquin to lead this fight. And something that we have been able to achieve is that we bring the conversation about gun violence whenever we want. Like, we were able to bring the whole debate several times without a mass shooting happening. And that's a new thing. So, besides Joaquin impacting people, which is something that is not offending me at all, by the way, I want to keep on seeing my son doing things, even if I don't use this technology. But some people is very offended that I've used it. They're not offended about the shooting. They're offended about the technology that I've been able to use. And I tell them, dude, you're in the wrong side of the equation. And I'm going to fight back. I didn't start this fight. And I guess I'm going to win this fight, because common sense tells me that America is not doing the right thing. We're arming people like crazy, and there's no big difference between our society giving and promoting guns to young people, to, I don't know, 16-year-old kids and 17-year-old kids, than the Colombian guerrilla giving guns to kids. So this is like a cartel, but it's a legit cartel. And I want to treat it like that. And I don't want people to feel sad about me or Patricia. I want people to feel offended and concerned about their life and their kids' life. That's a strategy here.
That is where we all have to come. We have to come to a place where our hearts move us to march with you, to fight with you, because we're not just fighting for our kids, we're fighting for the essence and the core of who we might be in the future. If we don't care about our children, who are we? It used to be in the bush, the legend says that when two people would meet from different tribes, they would raise their hands to one another as they approached each other, and what question did they ask? What was the question? How are your children? And the other one would say, thank you, my children, or my children are... Why is that? If we cannot embrace that fundamental reality, we have lost our humanity, our morality, our ethical base. This is emblematic, and it is, in literal terms, a travesty beyond travesty. But
But you also have to know, Peter, that I'm sorry, I need to steal a minute
Please,
from your
yes.
schedule. That is already running late.
No.
This is not about Mark or Francine or me. We cannot bring our kids back. But someone else out there, a lot of parents that are able to hug their kids tonight, or their wives, or their husbands, how come they're not offended? What is it that I need to do to make you realize that this could happen to you right now during this conversation? Not even tomorrow, right now. What is it that we need to do? So we need to find those things that we need to do. Is it art, the answer? Is it videos? Is it breaking that ethical line that nobody wants to go beyond? Well, guess what? Then we'll need to find that. This is not about Joaquin. No one will bring Joaquin back. And our plan, all the parents that already spoke in this panel, including myself, including Patricia, Fred, everyone, we are doing this for life. No one is voting for us on Tuesday, and no one is voting us out on Tuesday. Whatever happens on Tuesday, on Wednesday, we will be doing the same thing. So we better make the best choice on Tuesday just to make things easier. But go ahead and be part of a solution before you become an activist. You don't want that, and no one wants that.
Absolutely. We are not just talking about an election, although this moment we're talking about, this is going on long after. We are consolidating a sense of outrage and passionate caring for one another and love for each other. This is how we motivate each other. And this is if we don't embrace that outrage of it, we need to hear that, Manny. We need to hear your outrage. It is justified. You have to have the tenacity, the guts to say it, and you have. Let me bring Pam on now, my brother, and I'm sending you my love.
I love you, Peter, and
I love
everyone
you too.
here. You take care, okay?
Yeah, thank you. So now I want you to meet Pam Simon, who is an extraordinary activist. And Pam, I know that. Will you tell the people of the circumstance that makes this relevant to your presence? What happened? You're on mute, dear. You have to unmute.
Yeah, I'm unmuted.
You have to be louder, dear. Cannot hear you.
Am I unmuted?
Yeah, but you're not loud enough. You have to get very much louder. I don't know why. We have to hear you.
How's that?
Just yell at me, please.
Oh. How about this?
Okay, that's it.
Is that better?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Hello, Peter, and thank you so much for inviting me to be part of this really, really important evening. what brings me here and why Peter invited me is I was working as a staff member for Gabrielle Giffords, my congresswoman. And like so many people, I felt like gun violence happens to somebody else. And that was until January 8th, 2011, when my life was changed forever. Because I'll start with the beginning of the day, a beautiful sunny day, and my colleague Gabe Zimmerman and I were setting up for an event. And a few minutes later, the congresswoman arrived. At 10 minutes after 10, a young man who never ever should have been allowed to legally purchase a gun did purchase and came to that event. And he fired in less than 20 seconds bullets that killed 6 people, 19 in total were hit. I was one of the people that was hit. A bullet went through my wrist and into my chest. And I, because of tremendous medical care, I recovered. I am grateful for every single day because I got to see my 2 grandchildren come into this world. So my life is filled with gratitude and also tremendous inspiration by my fellow warriors that you've just had on, and so many others, survivors of the January 8th shooting that are speaking out on this issue. And so I began to use my voice and my story, and that brings us to when you and I met.
Okay, I had to unmute myself. When I met you, I recognized in you that you were my sister, and you were my friend, you were my mother, my father, my daughter, my wife, my priest, my rabbi, and together we went backstage, and I showed you these videos. That was a long time ago, and my belief in them was the belief in the youth. The youth. We have seen these youth. We're doing what we do, but these astonishing youth that I will introduce in a moment are taking it in extraordinary ways, and that's what must happen. It must go further.
When I met you at that concert in Tucson, Arizona, what I said to you is, Peter, you have been part of every major action that has happened, social justice action, and always music has been a part of that. And I asked you if there was music that could help fuel the gun violence prevention movement, and you took us downstairs to a dressing room and gave me the video of these fabulous kids from Parkland that have created this music that just touches our heart. There is so much power in music because it moves every social justice movement forward. And I applaud you for your work with the Portland students. Tragically, the shooter on January 8th had been a student in the junior high where I taught. And I just think if the resources could be there for the students that are hurting, and you were there as a resource for students to lift up their pain and make it something that will move hearts and minds. I feel like music has the power to heal our spirits, to inspire us to action, to give us hope. And that hope is realized when we vote. And I hope everyone on this call asks 10 people tomorrow to make sure we get everyone out to vote.
Well said, my heart's ally and dear, dear friend. And now I'm going to show you, this is not, when you have this kind of effort and you say, but will it end with them? I want you to see something. These students knew nothing about this that you're going to see. But they met the Parkland students virtually, COVID style, and then they themselves wrote this song and sing it. You can't believe that this is static when you see these. This is the next group. Watch this, please.
I can't leave the house without being afraid. Some see my skin as a weapon. They're threatened by the way I'm made. Even my friends downplay the danger. Stay quiet like they don't care. Don't they know next time they watch the news, my face might be there. If I scream, will you hear me? If I can't breathe, will you help me? We will, right now, we will help you. And we will raise our voices till we drown out the hate. Take a stand for love before it's too late. Who are we? Who are we? Who are we to speak up? We're the leaders of tomorrow. The world's gonna hear from us. As long as there's injustice and violence, we won't succumb to the sin of silence. I spoke my truth. I was tired of living a lie.
Oh, our love is different. I'm committed to living my pride.
But at school, at church, at home, at work, they criticize my every act. They're trying to convert me. They won't succeed. I will fight back. I am enough. I am worthy. If love is love, why do they hate me? Will you love me? We will raise our voices till we drown out the hate. Take a stand for love before it's too late. Who are we? Who are we? Who are we to speak up? We're the leaders of tomorrow. The world's gonna hear from us. As long as there's injustice and violence, we won't succumb to the sin of silence. We are young, but we're old enough to know we're not living in the land of the free. But if we're brave enough to come together, we believe someday we can be.
We will raise our voices till we drown out the hate.
Take a stand for love before it's too late. Who are we? Who are we? Who are we to speak up? We're the leaders of tomorrow. The world's gonna hear from us. As long as there's injustice and violence, we won't succumb to the sin of silence. Ooh, we won't succumb to the sin of silence. To the sin
Absolutely. And that is astonishing. You see how this is handed from the parents who were leading it to the Parkland students, and now these students met the Parkland students. And so I want to ask three of the singers who came on. By the way, Erica is not on. She isn't a student. She's a Broadway star, but a star without the glitter, with the heart. And she came out to be a mentor in this process. And she's the Black extraordinary singer, but she's clearly not a student. So I want you to meet Benji and Katie and Cameron. We have been on an incredible journey. It's very short, but what you have done is quite something. What happened, Cameron? What happened in all this? What is it? What produced all this? What did you experience, and how did it make you feel?
Yeah, I mean, what hasn't happened really in the past 6 months during quarantine? I can't even process what I was like before all this happened, when I first got this audition notice to be a part of this amazing thing, and it just transformed into this amazing platform where I could share my voice and spread love to those who really need it most in this time. Because before quarantine, before I met you, Peter, I didn't believe that I could make change, since I am young and, because I can't vote yet. And I've never been more wrong. I noticed that all you have to do is try, and you can create change in so many different ways and forms and answer that call to action whenever it does speak to you. And this whole process has helped me learn that and helped me communicate and find my voice to help inspire others. And I just thank you for doing that.
I forgot to unmute myself. Sorry. You are the new warriors, Cameron, and you are amazing. And Katie, I want to know from you, what has changed for you in this experience, and your outlook at all, from having inherited this legacy from the Parkland students?
I just feel like I actually am able to do something, because lately I feel like everyone our age just wants to vote so bad because we want to feel like we helped, but we can't. So I feel like doing this, I feel like I'm doing something, and I'm trying my best to inspire people to vote and inspire change. Yeah.
Ben, what was it that you felt from the Parkland students when you met them?
When I first met the Parkland students, it was just like a conversation that we kind of all had about how we were feeling. It was back in June, maybe. And obviously from seeing the video and just having conversations with them, they were so inspiring. And also, like, no matter how old they are, like, we're all around the same age. I learned so much from them. Specifically, like, we were in the middle of writing that song, and I think they really helped push that along and push all of our attitudes towards it. Like, this can really do something.
And yes, and I felt that I want everybody to know that you chose those lyrics, you wrote those lyrics, you chose those topics, and the two topics that you chose to focus on, interestingly enough, had to do with areas where we have to embrace our empathy for each other. Black Lives Matter and LGBTQ, and people were open and honest, and you'll see that in the video that comes after this, what that interaction was like, how people were not afraid to be themselves and to take charge of what they were saying, the courage of you to say, and can you believe that lyric? We're young, but we're old enough to know that we're not living in the land of the free. How gutsy is that? What politician would say that? You know, well, it's acknowledging, but it's an act of love. If you acknowledge that your country is not living up to its aspirations, and you have the guts, you're the people who have the guts. I want you to meet the Parkland students once again. Of course, they're very angry with you because you haven't been to their homes as you promised. Can you bring on the Parkland students? There we are, all of you. So we're reconvened. All right. Now I'd like to ask Sophia, you being the president of your junior class, what are you experiencing when you're watching these oldsters? Like, well, I'm of course older than all of them. When you're watching these people now that have preceded you in this gathering, how does that compute for you?
I mean, we got to meet all the Pittsburgh students, and I think we, like, even just like through talking to them just that one time, like we all kind of like have a little bond, like, and it was nice to like meet people who like kind of feel the same way we do, and like we understand. Like, I think it's really eye-opening because when you talk to people from your town that you don't necessarily know, and then you realize, oh, we're all feeling the same thing. And then we got to talk to students from Pittsburgh, and we realized, oh, we're all feeling the same thing. So it's kind of like, maybe everyone's feeling the same thing. And it's just really inspirational to watch what you guys did. And I'm really proud of you, and you did amazing.
You can just now talk amongst yourselves for a moment. Somebody can answer Sophia.
I just wanted to add on to what Sophia said. I think like when we first met, we made connections that we didn't even know. Like I still remember how I was talking about after the Tree of Life shooting, there were like these bracelets that our local JCC was passing out. And Sophia was like, wait, I made those bracelets. So I just think that we're all connected in some sort of way. And that really helped even 2 years after the shooting to, you know, just know that like there's other people there and there's like this whole community of people who have been affected by gun violence, but like we can all come together and create something out of that.
Absolutely so. That's what I want people to. I want everybody who's watching to see what we have here. We have here something in microcosm that is showing how we're going to get out of this situation. We're showing how the hope, the heart, and the undaunted aspiration of these students just is inspiring. Katie, if you were to give people who are watching a piece of advice that you think that you learned from being together with the Parkland students and writing the song, and your singing on this is so powerful. I was looking at it, it just moves me so greatly. What would you have to say to people watching?
I would say just try your best to, if you believe in something, find out how you can make a difference and how you can work with people to affect change, because the kids from Parkland really did show us that even if you are young, you can still do so much. And yeah, and you just have to connect with the right people and just ask how what you can do and do your research.
Right. And Marisol, you're the only one here who is in college. You are the senior member of this group, a big whole, a fresh person in college. What can you tell the people watching, and what can you tell these young students whom you affected so powerfully?
While, like they did say earlier, they felt inspired by seeing our performance and speaking to us. To see the work that they produced working together is just as inspiring to me. And, you know, I'm old enough to vote. I sent my ballot in the mail 2 weeks ago. But seeing that there is such a force in children just a little bit younger than me is hopeful. And, you know, no matter who wins the election, we are still going to have to continue to make change. We're still going to have to work. And to see that there's an entire generation that's ready to do that work, it just makes me very hopeful.
That's what we need, is a little bit of hopeful. Then we're going to sign off now, but I want you to put in a last word of acknowledgement to your friends.
Well, I mean, I can say this for all the Pittsburgh kids, but we love you guys so much. After just meeting you once, like, our group chat blew up, like, wow, they're so cool, blah, blah, blah. So, yeah.
Absolutely. Well, farewell to all of you for a moment, but you are with me in my hearts. We are together for life. You're stuck with me. I'm writing any one of you that wants to reject my college application, an endorsement for you, feel free to do so, but you know I'm going to pull out all the other stops because I'm crazy about you. I'm going to show you now some commensurate with the fury and the love that you see in Martin Luther King, the fury for the outrage that he said you have to feel, but also the love. It is embodied in this person who was a mentor to all of you in the writing, as well as, an extraordinary singer with you. And because the issue that she is addressing, you chose in your song, the Song of Silence. The sin of silence, I'm sorry. Silent when in the midst of horror is complicity. In the midst of this, the sin of silence. This is Erica Jackson, who's in Broadway, Caroline or Change, and she's amazing. And watch what happens now.
Right now, we are in the most unprecedented times. As a Black woman, it's disheartening to see every day another Black child lose their mother or father to the hands of police, to the hands of people who believe we don't deserve to live, to succeed, or to be Black.
Every life matters. No more, no more, no more. Please follow. No more. No more. No more. No more. No more. No more.
No more. No more. No more. We'll never turn back. Don't I found her in here, resting place, and he has made me blessed.
samu Torina vaya na vidala ya vidala ta maeda Tujele bingoni tujele bingoto maeda Torina vaya
That's what it is. There you have it. This is a fight for our caring about one another. This is the outrage that I feel with this is equivalent to the outrage that I feel when revisiting the circumstance with, I cannot believe we are treating each other this way. But I can believe, as Manny said, what does it take? How many times can a man turn his head and pretend? How many times? Years must one man have before he can hear people cry. We have lost that we have this black hole of empathy. That is the enemy. Black Lives Matter, LGBTQ gun. It is the same thing. I want you to know that standing up for this effort came some of the great iconic leaders. And you're going to see very quick promos now that they did that have been all over the net. And they came on board. I mean, iconic leaders from, and one extraordinary leader who you're going to see a lot of in the 37-minute video later, but you'll only see her a bit and now, and she starts it out. Look at these promos now. I mean, it's we are strong. Watch this.
Here you are, a generation that is going to enact change, but we need you to do it. Lead me to the voting booth. I will stand beside you. I will fight with you for a country that treats us all equally.
We will raise our voices till we drown out the hate. Take a stand for love before it's too late.
No way should you take for granted your vote. People died for you to be able to vote. Women went on hunger strikes. They were force-fed raw eggs down a pipe that was shoved down their throat. They chained themselves to the White House fence. And please honor them by going to the ballot box on November 3rd.
We will, right now, we will raise our voices till we drown out the hate. Take a stand for love before it's too late.
When I was in Mississippi in 1964, there were 3 young volunteers who were killed
because they were helping poor black people in Mississippi gain the right to vote. But we passed the Voting Rights Act. Students, organize, vote, and you will change this world.
We will, right now, we will raise our voices till we drown out the hate. Take a stand for love before it's too late.
Some young people don't appreciate the most basic right of citizenship. If there is any message that I could convey to today's young people, is vote.
We will, right now, we will raise our voices till we drown out the hate. Take a stand for love before it's too late. Who are we, who are we, who are we to speak up?
There it is. That is that we will raise our voices till we drown out the hate. That's those kids. Take a stand for love before it's too late. That is what we are doing tonight. And to hear all these voices, young and old. But now, to crown this evening, just so you know where it's going, it's gone another generation. Because when these singers who you are going to see now heard these songs, they did what are called covers. And they are now embracing it. We're talking about a chain, and we will keep this chain going, and it is a chain of heart and music. Watch these.
Oh, they took my home away. Why do I feel unsafe? Please tell me when I'm able to come out. You told me it's not the end. I feel like it's pretend. How am I supposed to live like this now? I won't give up.
Hi everyone, Brittany Coleman here, and I am so honored to be a part of this project with Song and Get Out the Vote and these beautiful Parkland High School and Pittsburgh High School students. These songs are so powerful, and today I picked Children Will Lead the Way because it is a reminder that my vote counts not only for me, but for those who are not old enough to vote. I won't give up today. Too many words to say. So take my hand, we'll be okay. The children will lead the way. The children will lead the way. I vote because this country has a history of silencing the voices of women who look like me. And I am exercising my right to have my voice heard. Get out and vote. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Jessie Hooker Bailey. I really connected to the song Sin of Silence when listening to the lyrics. They're literal words that have come out of my mouth lately when talking to my family and my friends about how dire this situation is right now, how important this election is, how it's beyond the election, how the bubbling up of the tension and the hate in our world, there's no more time to not care. There's no more time to sit this one out. People's lives are on the line. My life can be on the line. My husband's life, my brother's life, my nephew's life, my dad's. We don't have time to be silent. We will raise our voices till we drown out the hate. Take a stand for love before it's too late. Who are we?
Period.
Who are we?
Who are we to speak up? We're the leaders of tomorrow. The world's gonna hear from us. As long as there's injustice and violence, we won't succumb to the sin of silence.
I vote because I have to. There are too many people that have come before me, who have fought, who have died, just to sound their voices, so that's the least that I can do. Voting is the least that I can do.
This is a song for the silence, the ones that we lost in the sea of violence. Speak out for those who can't speak anymore. They are the friends we are fighting for. This is a song. This is a song for the silenced.
Hi, my name is Gilbert L. Bailey II, and I chose the song, a song for the silenced. In 1999, I was in 5th grade and living in the District of Denver, right next to the Columbine shooting, Columbine High School shooting. And every time a school shooting happens, I'm always kind of like brought back to the idea that they still happen. Because when Columbine happened, at least when I was that young and I was in 5th grade, it seemed like something that was so big that, you know, I thought the whole world must care. And as I've gotten older, I've realized that, like, the world doesn't seem to care about these as much as I think when you're close to them, you want them to. And this song just resonated with me on that level, about the silenced who aren't getting to tell their stories. So yeah.
This is a song for the silence, the ones that we lost in a sea of violence. Speak out for those who can't speak anymore. They are the friends we are fighting for. This is a song. This is a song for the silent.
Yeah, and this year, 2020, I am voting because I really do believe all of our lives depend on it. I believe that this is a time for action, and if not now, if this isn't the time for action, if this isn't the time to be involved, I don't think there ever was. So get out there and vote. Please vote.
Oh, they took my home away. Why do I feel unsafe? Please tell me when I'm able to come out. You told me it's not the end. I feel like it's pretend. How am I supposed to live like this now? I won't give up.
Hi, I'm Kate Trinidad, and I really connect with this song because I believe our youth are the seeds of change. You all are heard, you all are seen, and your activism and voice matters. I won't give up today. Too many words to say. Take my hand, we'll be okay. The children will lead the way. I won't give up today. Too many words to say. Take my hand, we'll be okay. The The children will lead the way. The children will lead the way. The children will lead the way. I vote because all voices need to be heard. I vote for those too young to vote and for our future generations to come. We can be the change we want to see. Your voice and your vote matters.
All right. Now, do you see why John Lewis said at the gathering with 30,000 people at the 50th anniversary of the Selma Montgomery March, he got up, there were 40 acts that were performing, and they were there to memorialize that time. And he said, he was the only one who wasn't a singer. He said, the civil rights movement without music would have been a bird without wings. Listening to these people, seeing how it has traveled from Francine to the Parkland students to these students, how do you think it feels for them to say, look, at my age I've inspired these people? That's what we need. It's inspiration. This is love. So powerful. Now, I'm just going to start this film where you're going to see the resource, except for the last. These are Broadway singers, by the way. They did this. They did not jump in this. And I tell you, Kevin Salem and Leslie Kirsch and Drew Goldstein, who are co-leading this effort, they did this without me. I feel like the proudest parent of all, because they did it better than it's ever been done. So, Drew, you brought us together with these Buffalo, these Pittsburgh students, and see where this has taken us. Drew, I'm beside myself. And I know all of you are. If you can just get people, if you want these, you can figure it out. Get these and spread them. Spread them. There is, when people see that, it is very compelling. And it is in these last moments that difference can make the difference. Go out there and love them. Love them into voting, love them into caring, and love them into beyond this. And now you're going to watch this film called The Power of Youth and Song, and you're going to see a lot of what you've seen before expanded, and you'll see what happened and how it happened. And I cannot be more proud of all the organizations here that are, the Newtown Action Alliance and the Sandy Hook Promise and the Giffords, the coalition, and you, Stacy. Thank you. All of these 10 organizations that are fighting for humanity. All right, please start. The Power of Youth and Song.
Wake up, America, wake up. Wake up, America, wake up.
Cycles of violence, it all seems so mindless. Halls we with gunshots and then they go silent. Darkness before us, children are dying, but we won't be quiet, our voices are rising.
Good evening, and welcome to the Youth Voter Initiative. My name is Erica Jackson, and I'm a Broadway performer currently in Carolina Change, and I'm just so happy that you're here watching this video. You're about to see some very inspiring, disturbing, but ultimately empowering videos of these high schoolers talking about the world around them, reflecting and using their art and their voice to change the world around us.
Oh, they took my home away. Why do I feel unsafe? Please tell me when I'm able to come out. You told me it's not the end. I feel like it's pretend. How am I supposed to live like this now? I won't give up today. Too many words to say. Take my hand, we'll be okay. The children will lead the way. The children will lead the way.
Today and every day, we will continue to fight for those things that are right. We will continue to fight for our lives. We will continue to fight for our dead friends.
Open the door that leads to hope. The whole world needs to know that these lives won't be lost in vain. Oh, our voices will be heard. Our songs will spread the word. Our truth will be the seed that grows the change.
Well, I say one life is worth more than all the guns in America.
I won't give up today. Too many words to say. Take my hand, we'll be okay. The children will lead the way. Rest in power, rest in peace. It's for the fallen that we speak. I won't give up today. Too many words to say. Take my hand, we'll be okay. The children will lead the way. I won't give up today. Too many words to say. Take my hand, we'll be okay. The children will lead the way. The children will lead the way. The children will lead the way.
We are able to be the change that we wish to see in this world. And this is why we march.
There's no better time than now to talk about gun control.
My generation, having spent our entire lives seeing mass shooting after mass shooting, has learned that our voices are powerful and our votes matter. We hereby promise to fix the broken system we've been forced into and create a better world for the generations to come.
Fight for your lives before it's someone else's job.
My name is Marisol Martinez, and I'm a senior at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School. In these strange times we're all living in, it may feel like the world is more divided, more isolated, and alone than ever before. We don't know what the future holds for us, but when we do look onto it, sometimes it seems bleak. I believe it's incredibly important for the voices of children who will come of age in that strange new future to be elevated, and for us to elevate the voices of those around us.
Right now, we are in the most unprecedented times. We are living during a time where a virus is killing over 150,000 Americans. We are living in a day where we see unarmed Black people die at the hands of police. We're living in a time where there are riots, there are protests, rightfully so. And the threat of trans rights being taken away is happening. And I think what's important now is for us to find our voice, to speak up and use that in our vote. It is so important that you vote now. So many people have died for our right to vote. For me as a Black woman, it is crazy to know that we didn't have the right to vote. As a Black woman, it's disheartening to see every day another Black child lose their mother or father to the hands of police, to the hands of people who believe we don't deserve to live, to succeed, or to be Black. And I think it is a huge insult for people to not use their vote and their voice to right these wrongs.
Every life matters. No more, no more, no more. Please follow. No more. No more. No more. No more. No more.
No more. No more. No more. No, no, no more. We'll never turn. No more. I found her in his resting place, and he has made me blessed.
Torina vaya na vidala ya vidala jamaida. Tujele bingoni, tujele bingondo bimaida. Torina vaya.
This is how we cope. We deliver hope. Fighting in the streets and showing up to vote. One time. This is how we cope. We deliver hope. Fighting in the streets and showing up to vote.
Our songwriting sessions were not just a way to express our pain, grief together. We also created a kind of solidarity to turn that pain into determination and commitment to fight and end gun violence in the schools.
Wake up, America, wake up.
Cycles of violence, it all seems so mindless. Pulsing with gunshots and then they go silent. Darkness before us, children are dying, but we won't be quiet. Our voices are rising.
Wake up, America, wake up. Wake up, America, wake up. Nothing's gonna happen if we don't take action. Nothing's gonna change if we stay always. Nothing's gonna happen if we don't take action. Nothing's gonna change if we stay always. Wake up, America, wake up. Wake up, America, wake up.
These were once lives with hopes and dreams, not just statistics on ripped at the seams. Sitting behind your TVs and phone screens. How can you ignore your own children's screens? Have you grown down to this? Is this your norm? It's been going on since before we were born. We won't be complicit, we need reform. And we won't forget who we're fighting for.
Wake up, America, wake up. Wake up, America, wake up. Nothing's gonna happen if we don't take action. Nothing's gonna change if we stay.
And I think whenever we talk about the song, we always talk about how the song healed us. And we don't know if we would have been able to be where we are now if we didn't have these songs to put our feelings and our emotions to. Because when we first wrote them, we didn't really understand that we could make a change because we were so young. And now looking back on it, I'm so grateful that we had the opportunity to do this, because not only did it help us, but it's helping so many other people who just listen to the lyric.
I am a former student at Stoneman Douglas High School. I'm going to be going to college in a few months. But I was 16 and a sophomore at the time of the shooting. And for me, the shooting was to say that it uprooted everything wouldn't be giving it enough of how much it influenced me. I was so overwhelmed by my feelings of fear and sadness and isolation. I view the songwriting as a way of memorializing the people that we lost, and I've tried to, since then, create art that honors their memory and makes the world a better place in their absence to make up for all the good that they would have done.
Gun violence struck my town of Parkland on February 14th, 2 years ago. 17 innocent students and teachers were murdered. Our town will never be the same. It could be your school next. Go out and vote.
This is a song for the silence, the ones that we lost in a sea of violence.
Speak out for those who can't speak anymore. They are the friends we are fighting for. This is a song for the silenced. They want us to forget and just move on, but we're never gonna stop. Our convictions are too strong. We are the change, we are the change. Let's not let the victims die in vain.
Let's rise up from all this pain. We are the change, we are the change, we are the change. This is a song for the silence,
the ones that we lost in a sea of violence. Speak out for those who can't speak anymore. They are the friends we are fighting for. This is a song for the silence. While the 17 are soaring up in heaven, we're bound and determined. We lay down our weapons, we vote for change, we vote for change. empty chairs in the classrooms where our friends used to sit. We vote for change, we vote for change. Let's not let the victims die in vain. This is a song for the silent. Can you hear us now? 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 This is a song for the silenced, the ones that we lost in the sea of violence.
Hi, I'm Nina West. I am from a television show called RuPaul's Drag Race. I have been an entertainer and activist for the last 20 years. I've had the chance to work within my own LGBTQIA+ community and to experience the tremendous lows and the incredible highs. I have been around for the last 21 years doing drag and figuring out what about my community ticks, pulses, and bleeds. I remember flying from my hometown of Columbus, Ohio, down to Orlando the day after the Pulse nightclub massacre to be there for my friends, to perform in a benefit, and to talk about the importance of gun regulation and making our country safe again. Somewhere along the way, the conversation has always gone back to why guns are so important and we should arm teachers. And here you are, a generation, the generation that is going to enact change. But we need you to do it. You will speak up and lead me. You'll take someone like me by the hand and help me understand how I can join in the fight. Now, take that courage, that resilience, that strength, and lead me to the voting booth this November. Lead me to a better country, and I will stand behind you. I will stand beside you. I will fight with you for a country that sees every one of us and treats us all equally. Black, brown, queer, trans, non-binary, woman, man. It might sound trite to you, but we are all in this together.
Since the shooting, I've been involved in, as we all have been, advocating for gun reform and gun control, as well as LGBT rights. I'm a trans woman, and I also have been focusing my poetry on exploring that topic, as well as topics of race. It's strange times that we're living in right now for, I'd argue, all minority groups, where we're making huge strides, but we also take huge losses.
I'm also transgender, and to see somebody who's using their voice for the better, it really just definitely inspires me. And I have experienced some things where, like, I will get reminded of bad things happened in the past. I mean, of course, not to the level that you have, but I just, like, I think when it runs through my mind, it just definitely terrifies me, and I have to calm myself down. But how do you calm yourself down if nobody's there, you know?
It's hard for me, especially when I'm alone. Thankfully, there haven't been a lot of situations like that where I'm isolated and I have an episode of PTSD be triggered. But normally, if I can, I'll listen to music. If it's an irrational thing that I'm panicking about, then music is usually helpful there. Breathing helps. Just sort of detaching myself from my fear and thinking through it and understanding that it's going to be okay.
I just kind of wanted to add on to Santina. I'm gay, like I'm a gay, but I'm white and male, and so like the fact that you are so strong as like part of the LGBTQ community, like, and then like a person of color, and then gone through what you went through, I just like thank you, and like thank you for using your voice, and like that's just the fact that you're so strong, and like it's just incredible, and it's like I don't know, I don't even know what to say. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. For queer people, trans people, and gay people, there's a lot of internalized stuff that we hold against ourselves. In making progressive action and making change, if you can't vote, a great place to start is examining yourself and the biases that you hold against yourself or the people closest to you, and trying to educate, like, say, your close family members or your friends as someone who actively promotes a better world.
I can't leave the house without being afraid. Some see my skin as a weapon. They're threatened by the way I'm made. Even my friends downplay the danger. Stay quiet like they don't care. Don't they know next time they watch the news, my face might be there. If I scream, will you hear me? If I can't breathe, will you help me?
We will, right now, we will help you.
And we will raise our voices till we drown out the hate. Take a step for love before it's too late.
Who are we? Who are we? Who are we to speak up?
We're the leaders of tomorrow. The world's gonna hear from us. As long as there's injustice and violence, we won't succumb to the sin of silence. I spoke my truth. I was tired of living a lie.
Oh, our love is different. I'm committed to living my pride.
But at school, at church, at home, at work, they criticize my every act. They're trying to convert me. They won't succeed. I will fight back. I am enough. I am worthy. If love is love, why do they hate me? Will you love me?
We will raise our voices till we drown out the hate. Take a step for love before it's too late.
Who are we? Who are we? Who are we to speak up? We're the leaders of tomorrow. The world's gonna hear from us. As long as there's injustice and violence, we won't succumb to the sin of silence. We are young, but we're old enough to know we're not living in the land of the free. But if we're brave enough to come together, we believe someday we can be.
We will raise our voices till we drown out the hate.
Take a step for love before it's too late. Who are we? Who are we? Who are we to speak up? We're the leaders of tomorrow. The world's gonna hear from us. As long as there's injustice and violence, we won't
succumb to the sin of silence. Ooh, we won't succumb to the sin of silence. To the sin of silence.
How many roads must a man walk down before they call him a man? And how many seas must a white dove sail before she sleeps in the sand? How many times must the cannonballs fly before they're forever banned? The answer, my friend, is blowing in the wind. The answer is blowing in the wind. I'm very proud to be a part of this effort because I sang this song with Paul and Mary at the March on Washington in 1963 and the Selma Montgomery March, and I've been part of this effort for a long time. And I was hoping that the voices of some people who are octogenarians, but absolutely with you and supporting you, and a little bit of our perspective might be welcome at this gathering of youthful, beautiful, heartfelt energy. Let me just say that I've been in the streets, and that's what we have to do. But until we transform the street power into power from above, the governmental power, we cannot affect the changes we need. So my urgent request to you, as a person who has demonstrated so many years, is you must go out and vote. And I want to introduce you to an activist who can tell you about the struggle and the terrible price that has been paid in order for people to be able to vote. Her name is Letty Cotton Pogrebin.
Hi, I'm Letty Cotton Pogrebin. I'm a writer and activist and one of the founding editors of Ms. Magazine, the national feminist magazine that's been publishing for more than 45 years. I'm recording this on August 26th, 2020. So I'm very upbeat because we've been celebrating the passage of the 19th Amendment to the Constitution 100 years ago today. I was raised on the absolute requirement, the compulsion, the necessity to vote. Voting in my Jewish household was as important as going to synagogue on Yom Kippur. You had to vote. And I want to acknowledge that past and what I owe to the suffragists who made it possible for women to vote. And I suppose I want a special message to the young women who are watching this. People died for you to be able to vote. Women went on hunger strikes. They were force-fed raw eggs down a pipe that was shoved down their throats. They chained themselves to the White House fence. They battered and down the resistance for 72 years. No way should you take for granted your vote, and please honor them by going to the ballot box on November 3rd.
I want to introduce you to an activist who really defines the word organizing. Please meet Heather Booth.
Students, you are the future. You can change the future, but only if you organize and vote. If we organize, we can change the world. I know it from my own experience. When I was a young teenager, I was in Mississippi in 1964 with a Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee. John Lewis was the chair of the committee in those days. And this picture behind me is of me with Fannie Lou Hamer, a great civil rights leader. But during that summer project, there were 3 young volunteers who were killed because they were helping people, poor Black people in Mississippi, gain the right to vote. But because we organized, we changed the laws, and we passed the Voting Rights Act. We're living in a time of incredible peril and incredible promise. It's perilous because so much of what we care about is at stake, but it's also a time of promise because there is an opening for change. Students, you can change this world, affect the issues of student debt, of climate change, of gun violence, of racial violence. But in order to do that, we need to take action. Organize, vote, encourage others to vote, and you will change this world.
Tonight we have seen videos that have turned pain into art. That's why being a part of this was a huge honor for me and a privilege to be able to use our art and to tell the truth and to affect change. And honestly, I was inspired by listening to these high school students and tell their story to me and to tell their truth to me. I hope it inspires you to vote. It is so crucial to listen to the youth when they are crying out. We must vote to protect them. So vote for them.
Thank you for being with us tonight. It's time to go, but it's also time to start. Now is the beginning. What we've just watched is challenging, and it's powerful, and it's painful. So many people have sacrificed everything to continue this democracy. Wars have been fought over this. Countless men and women have died so that we could peacefully walk into a booth and cast our ballot for the person that most aligns with the things that we believe in this world. Kindness, generosity, grace, diversity, equality, an important sense of self and an important sense of community. Understand that in this responsibility we all have as American citizens, we also have this tremendous opportunity to use our voice for those who might not have the right. That great promise that we all understand as an American nation, or we used to, that we need to get back to. This is a land of dreamers. Some of us might be natural citizens, others might be immigrants. Some might be too young to cast their ballot. You, my friends, have so much power in your hands to help speak for those who have no voice. In this moment, I hope you find your voice. I hope you use your voice. I hope you go out into the streets and you protest and you sing songs and you dance with one another and you celebrate the beauty of everything that is this life. And in that celebration, I also hope you use that voice to go into a voting booth or to cast your ballot early and mail it in and use the great USPS to use and exercise your most incredible right in this country, the right to vote. Thank you for being with us tonight. Thank you for hearing these stories. Thank you for allowing yourself to be challenged and to understand even a slice of what these students have sacrificed to tell this story tonight for you. There's been great loss in these moments. Now, let's take that loss and come together and be found. Have a wonderful, wonderful night.
Some young people don't appreciate the most basic right of citizenship. If there is any message that I could convey to today's young people is vote.
We will, right now, we will raise our voices till we drown out the hate. Take a stand for love before it's too late. Who are we, who are we, who are we to speak up? We're the leaders of tomorrow. The world's gonna hear from us. As long as there's injustice and violence,
at living in the land of the free. But if we're brave enough to come together, we believe someday we can be.
We will raise our voices till we drown out the hate.
Take a stand for love before it's too late.
Who are we? Who are we? Who are we to speak up?
We're the leaders of tomorrow. The world's gonna hear from us.
As long as there's injustice and violence, we won't succumb to the sin